Y'all sorry ASS team got people trying to talk bad about Jayden.
Who, Florida?
That it was like, what game did he have? Because he had 600 yards against Florida.
He did have a hell of a game against Florida.
Y'all so sorry, people don't even respect it.
We are sorry. I like to argue, but I'm a realist. We bad.
Y'all are.
Yeah, we're bad.
And what's crazy is I wanted Napier.
Really?
Yeah, because he's right there at UL. I thought he had recruited the area before. Boy, was I wrong.
He doesn't got enough. He don't have enough shit to him.
Really?
Like, he's pleasant. Like, I like him.
I like him too, though. Yeah, I met him.
I like him. Mm-hmm. I met him. He named the trophy after me.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good human. Sit down in his office, talk to him, but like,
no, like nobody develops quarterbacks no more.
That's the problem.
You go get them from other schools.
Congrats, big
Yes,
dog.
sir. Congrats, boy. What's up, man? Proud of you, man.
Good,
Happy for you, dog.
I'm good. Appreciate you. For sure.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Hell.
You already started the circuit? They got you moving around already?
Yeah, I'm about to be done after this.
So y'all did the whole week was all the award shows.
Yeah.
Do you go to every single thing?
No, I just went to Baltimore for the Johnny Unitas, and they took the other award show away. That with the Davey O'Brien and all that stuff, they took that away. So from Baltimore, I flew up here, and I've just been in here the rest of the week.
Yeah,
See, I'm gonna just tuck mine in. Some things in his ear, boy. Oh my goodness.
Did you see the chain last night though, on top of the tie?
Oh,
Yeah. That's real. Usually you don't get a check till you hit the league, but now it's NIL. Y'all got bread.
Trying to.
Bro, it's the most lit school in the world.
Listen,
you
we
see
were
your
just
damn
trying to get
check.
some nice kicks when we was in college. Y'all got the kicks, the blingy, the Rolexes.
Hey, I can't. Hey, I'm happy about it.
Yes, sir. We are too, brother.
It's because he hung around longer than I thought he was. After that freshman year, I was like, shoot, JD gonna be going in 3.
Yeah, man. Hey, I hung around 2 more extra years.
Yeah, it worked out.
It paid off.
Did it work out?
Look at his
jacket. That been worked out.
Hold up, limitless. Niggas to me, can't pinning it. I fought the here to witness it. Get my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, get me up. On the mission, get me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Niggas to me, can't pinning it. I fought the here to witness it. Get my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, get me up. On the mission, get me up. Knowing me, I got the key.
But welcome to the pivot, bro. This is 5 years in the making.
Yep.
You know, I met you in 19 when you committed to Arizona State. I remember saying it, November 23rd, 2019, y'all beat Oregon. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, he gonna win the Heisman one day. I didn't know it would be at my alma mater, so I'm fired up about that. But I'm just so happy for you, man. You deserve it, more so just because you're just a great human. Good kid, man, always been, man, so I'm happy. This is Chan. Freddie T. I hang around Gators a lot, you know. We were just talking about what you did to him, too.
Hey, we don't got to bring that up. Let's talk about Jayden. We don't got to bring that shit up. Man, threw for 1,000 of them.
Man, just talk a little bit about the experience of winning the Heisman Trophy last night.
It was dope. It was like a surreal moment because that's something that me and my pops talked about for the longest. You know, he big football fan. You know, he was telling me about Charlie Ward, all those type of guys, and Andre Ward. You know, and then for me, like it kind of just hit me where I had a chance where I was like, okay, I might have a chance at this. Was when Lamar won it. You know, just seeing Lamar because Lamar looked just like me. You know, we played similar. So seeing him do what he did. You know, that meant a lot, you know. And when I heard my name called, I just picked up that trophy and all that just came in my head. I just started reminiscing about stuff like that.
Is it that stressful? Like the whole process? Because it's not like you're trying to get somewhere. You're waiting to be called the best player in the world at your sport. Like, is it stressful? Did you sleep the night before?
A little bit. I ain't gonna lie. It's just a suspense behind it, especially like leading up to it. Where it's like all of us is sitting right there and you waiting to see if you're gonna win or not. Like my heart, I ain't gonna lie, my heart was beating. Like, because I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna win. Hopefully they call my name. I mean, you have Mike Penix, Bo Nix, and Mars, so it's like any of us could have won it.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, as soon as he called my name, that's why my head just dropped because I was like, woo.
And in your speech, you said, this is wild. You had an opportunity to meet all the other former Heisman winners.
Yeah.
What was that moment like, and did you get any like real solid words of advice from those guys?
It was dope because you see like people like Archie Griffin, the only person that won it back-to-back years. You seeing Tony D, Tebow, RG3. You seeing even people that won it in the 50s, like Mike Garrett and all those guys, Steve Spurrier, 60s, 70s, all that type of stuff. So it's like you meet all this type of people that, and now you're a part of the fraternity. And, you know, they just told me like, your life is about to change. And, you know, just enjoy the moment, enjoy every little thing you can.
You ready for your Heisman commercial? Because those commercials pretty cool. Those Heisman commercials pretty dope. You ready for it?
I am. So I don't know. We're gonna see what it's about, but I'm ready to do it.
Oh, we got a new commercial. We're gonna have a commercial during the show. Come on in, man. I heard it's heavy. I'm not trying to hold it. Only, I mean, give it to the man. He can put it wherever he wants.
I don't think we're allowed to touch it.
Yeah, like it's a secret society. All they ask is trust.
Yeah.
JD, when you first picked it up, was it heavier than you thought?
Oh yeah, it was actually like. I made sure because I was like, man, I'm not gonna be the one to look like I'm struggling trying to hold this thing up. So I made sure I had engaged my core and everything.
I'm not touching it.
I'm gonna touch it here. I ain't had a chance again. Shit. Put it over here by me.
Let's go back.
Hey,
a
make
little
sure
bit,
you
man,
slide it
to,
way back.
Both of us, we're gonna just keep it at my house.
Nah, we'll keep it at his house. That's that man trophy. You finna Reggie Bush him before it even start. They got NIL now. You can't do that. Let's take it back though, man, a little bit further. Once you heard your name called, how long did it take you, man, to think back to your grandparents? To think back to just what they meant to you, you know, your grandfather bringing you to practice, all of those different things, and, you know, having dealt with losing them, you know, during COVID, and now to be at a moment that you know would mean so much to them.
Yeah, I'll just say it was kind of, I was reminiscing about them the whole time because, like I said, when I'm meeting those former winners, and, you know, my grandpa used to tell my dad about them. So, like, seeing my dad there and interacting with them, like, man, my dad would have been so happy, you know, that I'm talking to you right now. And he's just saying, like, man, your pawpaw would have been excited that you're over here part of this journey, like you, Jim Plunkett, all those type of cats.
Yeah.
So I was reminiscing about them the whole weekend and wishing, you know, that I was able to call him like, yo, Pawpaw, I met such and such. You know, seeing the smile on his face, you know, how much trash he talks, you know, just going from there. But it probably just hit me, like I said, when I got on that stage, I was like, man, this is wild, because like everything that he taught my dad taught me, and even he was teaching me. Like it all just paid off in that moment. And, you know, I got a long way to go, but I was just happy to be in that moment.
And Jay, that year, when your grandparents passed, and that was your third year at ASU, and that's when people started criticizing you. What was it, 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions?
Yep.
In retrospect, 'cause we all know at the time when you balling, you just trying to play.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, that down year was because of the pressure, the stress of losing your grandparents. Does it all attribute back to that?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, obviously COVID was COVID, but going in January, like I lost my grandpa beginning of January, and I kind of figured out, like I found out like my grandma was basically on her last life, you know, at the end, like 2 weeks later. So they decided to take her off on her birthday in February. Knowing that, and then having to just deal with everything, like the pressure of, you know, being the face of Arizona State, and then the pressure of the family, everybody's dealing with different emotions, and people are trying to come to me. You know, I'm 19, just turned 20 years old. So it's like, that's just something I was dealing with, and it was a lot, and I just wasn't ready to handle all that.
You pulled your grandmother off of life support. It was on her birthday, and your grandfather, it was on their anniversary.
Yeah.
How difficult was it not being able to see him, especially with the sort of closeness you guys had as a relationship?
Yeah, it was very difficult because I ain't seen him since, because of COVID, I ain't seen him since June, right before we went back to school. June 1st, 2020 was the last time I seen him. So not being able to see him, and I still remember the day, like he called me on the phone, like the night before he passed. He was like, man, I love you. And then that's the last conversation I had with him.
Man, right, yeah, that's tough.
I was around then,
Yeah.
so I knew, but I also understood how you were treated then. You went from being the face of an entire organization, and I love the fact that you mentioned AP. Obviously, one of my best friends, you know, reason Jordan was there, but also a huge reason you were there.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, you know, the teammates you had at Arizona State. When you left, Jordan called me hot.
Yeah.
You know, why, you know, and they're going through your locker, and the videos put out, of them saying those negative things about you, knowing what you had done at that school, how were you able to, in your biggest moment, reflect on some of those teammates, those coaches, and that experience, and say positive things about what you learned there and how they help you grow and get to this point as well?
Like you said, AP, Coach Herm. I still remember Coach Herm, my grandpa, they was hitting it off on my little home visit, so that resonated with me. And Marv, Marv, they all played a big part while I was there. And then some of the teammates, like the whole thing with the video stuff, like that is what it is, but I know who the real ones were. Like Jordan, Ladarius, Ricky, all those type of guys, Shad. Everybody always had my back. And, just like without them, I wouldn't be in this position. The good and the bad. The bad gave me more, that gave me more motivation to, go show something else. The good is like they always supported me no matter what. So for me to be on that platform and be able to give them thanks, just for everything, that was a big opportunity for me.
Yeah, I thought that was big. AP's and Antonio Pierce, now the interim head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. When you transferred, bro, one, I was like, JD never calls me. So that's how I knew LSU was doing a good job.
Yeah.
I hit him when he first got there. I was like, you need me now, let me know. He ain't never need me. So life must have been good.
Did you have his back at Arizona State, though?
I had his back everywhere. Oh my God.
I'm about to say,
Yeah.
don't switch up.
That's my dog. I ain't gonna never switch up.
Never.
You get to LSU, what sort of adjustments did you have to make? Because it's not only an adjustment from being from the West Coast and having to deal with different people. I'm sure a lot of them you couldn't even understand when they were talking to you. But you also get to this place that is really big time football.
Yeah.
And you got the Maliks and the BTs and the different level of player. What was that sort of adjustment like for you? And how much did you sort of relish in meeting that challenge?
Like you said, they got dogs. LSU has dogs for sure, like Malik, BT, and they was like who they are now. Yeah. So we all kind of like grew up together even more. Even though I'm older than them, we all still challenged each other. When I first got there, it was just like, I'm just trying to figure myself out. I'm trying to just play the role, do what I can, just show that I belong. And, as the season went on and progressed, I started getting more and more comfortable. But this offseason is like where we really like start challenging each other. Like if Malik wasn't on his stuff, I'm over here getting on him. He getting on me. Like everybody's holding each other accountable. I just feel like that's how we've grown the most. We know what we want for our future. We got goals that we set. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to help you reach it, and it's vice versa.
And Jay, I got to hear from the horse's mouth because I read all the stories. You got in the transfer portal late.
Yeah.
But the sanctions, and then it was the coaching changes, and it was all that. I heard all the articles. Why did you leave Arizona State?
Man, it was just so much uncertainty there, just with everybody. AP was gone. I didn't know anything about Coach Herm and stuff like that. So I was like, man, I got to go somewhere else. I got to I got to start fresh. I got to go somewhere else. And for me, I was like, man, I seen what Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, what those guys are doing on this big stage, and I grew up playing against them. I was like, man, I know I could do it. So I was like, I talked to my parents, like, man, I'm into the portal, and take a chance on me. And then LSU came knocking, and I was like, man, I can't pass up this opportunity. You play in the SEC, you play in the best conference, and you play on national television every week. So I was like, man, I need to go out there and prove that I can play and show everybody I can.
You're talking about starting fresh. Let's go back.
Yeah.
So much, you've always been a special player, so much so that your freshman year, you had to sign a waiver in order to play as a ninth grader.
Yeah.
In that season, I think you led your team to league championship. You had 2,600-yard pass and 35 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. You were always ready for big time.
Yeah. How?
Like, growing up, what were your goals growing up?
Yeah, my goals growing up, I want to play NFL. That's the biggest thing, I love basketball, but I was like, I seen something like, man, I could do something in football. Probably like 8th grade, 9th grade. And like you said, I had to sign that waiver because I was too young to play on varsity. So they shut me down at first. And I was like, man, nah, I need to play. Even though my mom didn't want me to play, I was like, she was like, man, I'm going to just let you do it. This is your life.
Yeah.
Me and my dad sitting there, we're begging her like, man, I want to play. And then, so for me, it's like I always just growing up, I've always been winning. Even back to my youth football days, we was always dominating. always winning. So when I had the opportunity to go out there and play as a 14-year freshman, I was like, man, I'm just playing football. I'm just having fun. And whatever comes with it, comes with it. And, I had a successful high school career, and I was able to move on. And I say I stand myself as the best to come out of my San Bernardino.
Your high school stats, we had Bijan on the show like probably last offseason.
Yeah.
And Bijan high school stats are like, literally when you look at them, they look fake. They're like video game stats. But yours were too, and that was both passing and rushing the ball. But you even said it in your speech that your pops was training you to be a corner. And I think he was corner at UW, Iowa State. And so when was the conversation or when was the switch to wanting to play quarterback? Because he a big San Fran fan.
Yeah.
And he used to make you watch the 1992 drive in the Super Bowl from Joe Montana. So how was that switch? And when did you really start to know that playing the quarterback position, you could be special with your talent?
Man, I told him I wanted to play quarterback when I was 8. I seen Michael Vick running around, so I was like, I always want the ball in my hand. I want to do something with it. But I played everywhere. So I played quarterback. I was still playing defense, as a little kid, just playing all positions on the field. So I would say probably when I was like, man, I was like solely focused on quarterback, it was just high school.
Gotcha.
Probably after my freshman year, I was like, man, I think I could do something with this. And I just took it from there, and I just kept working. Start getting the proper training that I needed, because I was already just thugging it out, honestly. I'm back there throwing the ball. My dad tried to teach me. He don't know too much. And then we started getting the quarterback coaches, started going from there.
Yeah, you look at, where you are now. I want to talk about last year's game versus Alabama.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was still, you've been at LSU, bro. Everybody now got to be Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter what you do, what the statistics look like. If you're not doing what Joe Burrow did, they weren't accepting it. But, that game different, right? You got a bye week before you play in that game, both teams.
First week of November.
You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly what it's going to be. When you have the big run, when you make the play to Mason in the corner of the end zone, what was that experience like? Because it even felt to me in Baton Rouge, that's when everybody was like, oh, okay, Jayden's our guy.
That was life-changing. Going to overtime, everybody's saying like, man, this is the game. I'm like, it's another game to me, but, they was ranked number 5, we was ranked 10, so it was a top 10 matchup, nighttime in Death Valley. So that's when I really experienced like nighttime in Death Valley. I'm playing against one of my friends, Bryce. We've been battling our whole life, so now we battle on the biggest stage. And I still remember, he made the little play, broke like 5 tackles, threw the ball down the sideline, and he's staring at the bench.
Right.
So I was like, man, I can't let him beat me. So when we drive down the field, we score, they go back and kick a field goal, so we go to overtime, and, they get ball first. So I'm like, the coaches on the headset talking like, man, what, like, the assistants telling me, like, yeah, this is what they're talking about, this is what they're talking about. I was like, man, if they call a read option, like, I'm gonna call game. Like, I said that. And then he was like, for real? I was like, yeah, tell them call it. So they call it, and then the end did enough for me to get outside of him. Everybody did a great job blocking, and from there, and then I'm looking back, because against Florida State, we kicked the extra point.
Yep.
So I'm looking back, I was like, man, no, we're going for 2. Like, we got to end this game, because I'm not letting Bryce get another shot. Like, we got to go for 2, and Coach Kelly was with it. We go out there, and we end up calling a timeout, and Coach Kelly on the headset, and he was like, man, he's like, I want number 5 on the perimeter, so he can do whatever he wants. There's nothing there, he can run. Right. I just want the ball in 5 hands. So we ended up calling a perfect play, because we knew they was gonna run man coverage, and we got a couple of rubs, and Mason made the play. But after that, it was just like life-changing, because I think that's the first time LSU beat Alabama at home in like over a decade. So it's been a while. So be able to be a part of history like that, that was sick.
Listen, nighttime, Death Valley is not a good place to play.
Not at all.
They banged us up down there too. Listen, I want to put you on the spot real quick. You got that beautiful Heisman Trophy over there. Would you trade that for a national championship?
Honestly, I probably would. I mean, if I wanted natty, I probably would still get it. But
True statement.
But I would want to win the natty, and that's something that I dreamed about, is be able to go out there. And I was trying to win on every level.
Right.
High school, college, hopefully in the pros. But I would trade for fraternity because that's just something that you can't get back. That's like you and your brothers work so hard to accomplish something like that. And I wish I was able to give them that.
There'll be a lot of young players look up to you for being a Heisman Trophy winner, but you graduated early.
Yeah.
Did graduating early allow you to focus more on football? Like, what's a day in the life of a player that graduates early? Like, what's your schedule?
I graduated early because I was tired of school, and then I told my mom, like, if I go to NFL early, like, I'm gonna get my degree. I'm gonna get my degree before I leave. So I made that promise to her. So that's something I had to accomplish. But now, me graduating early, it was, like you said, allowed me to focus on football more and, be more of a pro. I got my online classes, I knocked that out, but I'm up there spending all day at the building, trying to get better each and every way that I can. So, when I get to the next level, the transition isn't as hard.
Talk about a little bit about your offseason, because you needed to gain weight.
Yeah.
But it was also sort of a mixture of like some pro quarterback stuff mixed in with what you had to do with your team. Explain a little bit how that helped you improve so much from last year, which was a great year, an all-conference year, to this year, which was a Heisman Trophy winning year.
Putting on the weight, I put on like 10 more pounds, 10, 12 more pounds. So I've been playing at like 205, 206, around there. But for me, it was like every little break we had, I was out. I was out training. I was out in California training with Taylor Kelly and 3D QB, trying to get better no matter what. So
who else is out there, JD? Is that where CJ and Bryce
trained too? That's where CJ and Bryce was training at too. Yeah. So, we was all training together. While they doing their little pre-draft stuff, I was always back, working out with them. And they made jokes like, man, you got a lot of breaks. Like, you always out here. I was like, man, I'm trying to get the work in. Like, they had a little camp where they'll go to Dallas, the quarterback crew. They go to Dallas. So I'm flying in Dallas on the weekend. Right. I'm just trying to get better. Like, we had a little Mardi Gras break. I'm over here working out. So every little thing, I was just trying to get better because I came back and I was like, I want to be different. Like, I want to do something different.
Before anyone meets you, they meet Regina, right? they meet your mom. Like, that was the first one I met. Like, AP, we've been so close for so long. He was just telling me, like, we're gonna get Jayden Daniels, we're gonna get Jayden Daniels. And then when they got you, I meet you, you shake my hand. I was like, well, he doesn't even talk. You know what I mean? I was like, he's quiet, he's chill. But then every game, every road game, every home game, your mother was right there, man. Yeah. Front center, always cheering, always supporting you. What has, not only just growing up, but what has this college journey been like for the two of you, starting at Arizona State, then at LSU, and then now to have that moment with your father, Jay, your mother, where you win the award and you get to give them, and especially her flowers?
Yeah, man, just the sacrifice they made for me. My mom ain't never missed a game. She was allowed that. COVID year, we couldn't have fans, but every game, if it's raining out there, she's gonna be out there. If it's minus degrees, she gonna be out there, standing up the whole time, making sure she cheering me on, because she said, well, I'm on the field, she can't sit down. She got to keep her eye on me. So, just the sacrifices my mom made, both my parents made, just to help me get to this point, and to raise that trophy. It was just time for me to give them their flowers, because everything they done for me, I've been so grateful for it.
Oh, I was going to say, Jay, you talking about like, Arizona to Louisiana, your mom going to come to everything.
Yeah.
But that transfer portal is huge right now. When we were coming in, nobody transferred when we was in school, but now it's huge. For you to have the success, because a lot of dudes transfer and they go right back into being nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, what advice would you give them dudes that start transferring? Because every single year, it's 20, 30 dudes transferring from school to school, but they ain't holding this bitch after they transfer.
Yeah, there were, the first day of the portal, it was 1,183 players in the portal.
That's crazy.
I'll just say the grass ain't always greener. You gotta know, like, if I go in the portal, like, I have a home. Kinda. It's just like, man, you can't go out there blinded, because if you go out there blinded, you might be stuck in it, because the old school could pull you a scholarship and you're not gonna have a home. So it's like the grass ain't always greener. Like, you a young kid and you feel like, I want to go somewhere and play. You never know, because everybody trying to look for somebody with experience now. Because they want to win games, and experience obviously helps, especially in college and in the pros. So it's like, man, you got to make the best decision for you, but you got to know the consequences that can come with it if you don't have a home.
Freddie T. Chan, we back again, man. DraftKings, we appreciate you for sponsoring this show. And any new customer that signs up right now, use the promo code PIVOT. You place a $5 bet, you get $150 in bonus bets.
I watch out for y'all, baby, with my same game parlays. It's getting cold, fellas. You know what that slows down? Is the passing game. Maybe some unders in passing. Pick a side. You got same game parlays. And I got to go with my no sweat bets. Your bet doesn't hit, you get a bonus bet
Man,
right
no
there.
sweat, they ain't even got to flip their draws.
Come on now, I don't even flip me a draw.
I love the same game parlays. I like some money line two parlays, Chan. If you want to get in the game, you got to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And if it's not in your area, don't worry. This is always my message. Get the DraftKings Daily Fantasy, and you still can get some money. Make it happen.
Sign up, use the promo code PIVOT. You place a $5 bet, you get $150 in bonus bets. Now back to the show. You showed Sherm some love last night. You said he annoying. That's your boy and you love him. The one cool thing, and you know, like I don't come around a lot, but I'm always paying attention.
Yeah.
The one cool thing is he always, and he mentioned it last night in his tweet, that you found Christ.
Yeah.
And you found your faith. And you also mentioned in different times when you were getting interviews and stuff about the fact that you knew God had you and your faith in him has helped you. Just for a young man to proclaim that publicly is big. And the kids that are watching you and the people that do look up to you, talk a little bit about how that has helped you continue to grow.
I mean, without him, none of this is possible. I wouldn't be in this position, you know, to raise that trophy or anything, or have the accolades. I'm just blessed to go out there and just play football. And, you know, everything I do, I just try to glorify him with it. You know, I got a platform to speak, you know, just give him his praise and, you know, move on, because that's all he wants at the end of the day is us to praise him. And yeah, speaking about Sherm, I mean, Sherm, you know, he's big in his faith. And when I came to LSU, you know, that's kind of where we started building our relationship. We got real tight and real close. And you've been up there every time I'm around. He right there next to me, always calling around. But, you know, he's a great human being. And people don't really know Sherm. You know, that some people, I think he needs more of his respect and his flowers for everything he does, just for the players. You know, everybody feels comfortable talking to him. He's always just helpful to everybody. He's always there for everybody. So that's why in my speech, I was just shouting at everybody out, you know, behind closed doors that'll really get the recognition.
Yeah. You know, let's talk about it now. What was the day like when you put up 1,000 yards on Florida? Like, did you wake up that morning, you know, and you look at the roster, or you watched the film and you thought to yourself, oh, that's barbecue chicken? Or
I know who you was picking on.
Who?
He know who he was picking on that right side. I ain't gonna say the young man's name.
He rushed for 200 too, though, Jay.
I know, he was picking on all of them.
But when you having a night like that, that was very high schoolish for you. You know what I mean? Like, those were the sort of games that you could have in high school when you just proved to the world you are beyond a shadow of a doubt the best player on the field. But when that's going, man, when the pass game is going, then you go for 85 down the sideline, then you get another one for plus 50, and all these things are happening. While you're in the moment, can you even sort of register what you're doing? Or, like, when did it actually hit you that you accomplished something that no player had ever done in college football?
I'm an LSU Tiger, so I always love playing Florida. Like, even Florida last year, I had 6 touchdowns against Florida. So, you know, that's just something, you know, they don't like us, so, you know, we don't like them. But going into that game, I was really just coming off. I just got clear at the end of the week, so from the concussion, so I didn't really practice that whole week. Me personally, I go out there, I mind my business, and I'm doing my thing. They start talking, trying to talk to me, so it was like, you know, they kind of just started me up, and especially like during the game early on, I think it was one play I got tackled from behind on 3rd down. You know, they coming, everybody, I'm on their sideline, everybody's getting in my face, pushing me, stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, man, like, I'm not playing no more. So I told them at the end of the game, I was like, man, y'all done woke up a monster. I said, everything that happened, I mean, is y'all fault. You know, I was really just chilling.
I hate your question, and I hate your answer. As long as y'all know that. But another thing too, bro, we all SEC guys, honestly.
Yeah.
Is that SEC different?
It is.
The speed, because we always brag about it, but is that SEC different?
It is different. I mean, it's different just up front. Like, you know, you got monsters that could run 4.5, that, you know, big 300 athletic, you know, that they built. So it's like every week you're going to get somebody, you're going to get some good defense. Like, even on paper, it's not a good defense. You know, when LSU come to town, they always going to play you tough. So, you know, you got to be on your A game.
Bryce and CJ go 1 and 2 in last year's draft. I'm pretty sure that excites you.
Yeah.
And to see what CJ is doing now as it stands today, he's leading the league in passing.
Yeah.
How does that motivate you?
Yeah, it motivated me because I seen those guys put in the work constantly, and I seen what they were doing. Even from high school, you know, Bryce always been highly ranked, but he always had all eyes on him, but he lived up to the expectation. Mm-hmm. CJ, you know, he was vying for scholarships at the end of the year, so, you know, he always had that chip on his shoulder to go out there and prove people wrong. So seeing them Bryce to win the Heisman, CJ to be a finalist back-to-back years, and then for me to follow them right after that, even though I'm older, it was like, man, I seen them get their name called. I'm like, man, this is reality, because next year I'm going to hear my name called at some point. And I seen what CJ do. You know, we always talk, me and CJ, he actually called me Friday night, like saying, like, congratulations on everything, I'll be watching. Bryce texted me last night, was like, welcome to the family. So, you know, we're close. And to see what they're doing at the next level, CJ over there balling, you know. Yeah. Bryce is going what he's going through, but, you know, he's always been positive with everything he's been through. So I'm most definitely confident he'll get through that.
Yeah, no, Bryce, it's a different situation. The NFL is tricky like that. You can see everything that's going on around Bryce in Carolina. Yeah. So much change, so much turnover. So I think he's going to get to a point where when they have consistency inside the building, then he'll be able to flourish and show people why he was selected number one. But right now, it's too much garbage going on in that building, man.
Yeah, Bryce
that's the game. You got to be able to pivot.
Bryce is in a bad position. I do want to ask you, though. One, it's crazy. You just mentioned 3 California-bred quarterbacks that played at Ohio State, Alabama. You at Arizona State first, but then LSU. You know, you think about that talent within that state saying we want to go elsewhere to show what we could do against the best in the world. And I think that's what makes definitely the 3 of you different, to be on that stage and accomplish what you have. But when you're looking at people that you've played against, guys that you know you have a similar talent level to, and they are, you know, whether it's winning Heisman, being Heisman finalists, being number 1 and number 2 pick, you know, Matt Moscona played it the other day. When you went to LSU, I was on an interview, I said, I think he could win the Heisman. Yeah. I'm so glad you made me right. You know what I mean? But also, too, how hard was it, JD? Because when you are as talented as you are, you have a plan. You like, and especially the way you play 17 tubs, only 2 picks as a freshman, you only think you're going to get better and better. And it does feel like in 3 years I could leave. Yeah. And then you come back and you transfer to LSU, you have a great season, you have an opportunity to leave, and you stay. How difficult were the decisions to continue to stay in school?
It was very difficult because you kind of want to go achieve your goal. You want to go play in the NFL. You see your friends. So for me, it was like, man, I seen Brandon Ayuk get drafted first round. This is one of my best friends. I seen Rashad White ball out his last year, you know, go do his thing. And what he's doing in Tampa right now, it's like after last year, it was like, man, I want to go play in the league. I'm trying to go play in the league. But, you know, I had to make what was the best decision for me in my future. You know, Bryce and CJ, those are the 2 guys ahead of the quarterback talks. So sitting down, I'm like, me, my mom, and my dad, we sitting down, we like, man, I come back, you know, ain't no other quarterback in the SEC. Bryce gone. Hendon Hooker had a great year. He gone. And it was like, I'm coming back. I'll probably be the only returner. So it was like, man, I'm playing. I got another year, the whole offense coming back. So I was like, man, I have an opportunity to catapult myself, you know, to those talks. And, you know, coming back, you know, that's probably the best decision I made for myself, because it's like, now I'm here. So I don't think if I left last year, I wouldn't be in this position.
How does NIL weigh into that decision? Like, some guys, if it's a money situation, they make the decision based on that to jump and go to the NFL. How did it weigh in on your decision?
Yeah, for me, it was like, I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal for me, because it's like coming back. I mean, even Sherm talked about it. He's like, I want you to come back. You're able to enjoy everything that LSU can bring you. you know, just the platform that LSU has, you know, all the greats that came through there, you know, it could bring you so much more. So coming back, I mean, I wasn't looking for it. I was looking for, man, I'm going to get better, you know, so I could go make my money in the league. And then coming back, you know, I end up getting, you know, Powerade, Beats by Dre, you know, stuff like that to be able to sponsor me, but also give back to my teammates. NIL helped me out a lot, you know, just to show appreciation to the ones that helped me get to this point.
We heard you got to sign 300 footballs in a second.
Yeah.
Do you put Heisman winner 2023 on there? What's the signature?
It might start being that now. Before it wasn't, but it's a little JD5 real quick. Simple, quick and easy.
Love it.
Jay, I have a question. This is a total LSU question. How mad were you when Malik didn't win the Biletnikoff?
Man, I was hurt. I was hurt because I know how hard he worked.
Right.
He set goals for himself, and you know, he's always been the underdog. And he's not supposed to be here. Everything he'd been through in his life, I was hurt for him. You know, I texted him that morning. Once I found out, because I found out before they announced it. You know, I'm up here. I found out. I was like, man. I texted him. I was like, man, I love you, dog. Just know I got your back no matter what. You know, I know he was hurt because that's something he like dreamt about. You know, it's on his live screen. You know, the Biletnikoff. It's been on there for 2 years.
Wow.
So it was like, man, he set goals for himself. Like, you know, I'm gonna break all-time records in LSU history. You know, I'm gonna do stuff that nobody else done. You know, all the great receivers that came through LSU. You know, he's the first receiver back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. You know, he has a chance to break the record for all-time yards. You know, he broke all-time catches. So everything that he's done, he beat the odds. You know, he defined everything that he did. So I'm like, man, you know, the season he had, you know, that's my dog. So he should have been the Biletnikoff winner. And all respect to Marv.
Yeah, I get it.
But you know, I'm always ride with Malik.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors, man. I remember I was still coaching the Bootleggers, and they were talking about other wide receivers, and we really just threw him go balls.
Yeah.
And he just fought for every one of them, every single play. And you could see that he was different. Like, he got a ton of dog in him, man. And I think it was great too. It was so cool, bro, to see like your personality at LSU.
Yeah.
Because it's so different from what we're used to in like our culture. You know what I mean? And for you to acclimate to that, for you to compete the way you did, become the leader that you have, like for me, man, it was just such a blessing. And this is just my last question for you is, what are your goals going forward, right? Because the story you've written in college is one, even when you get in college, you say, man, I want to win the Heisman, I want to do this. It's still extremely hard to accomplish and sometimes hard to believe.
Yeah.
But you've done that. Now, looking at the next level, what are your goals there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take it one step at a time. I want to be a first-round pick, and then from there, you know, I'm going to try to break all CJ records, you know, that he set his rookie year. So, you know, he set the standard, so I'm going to try to go beat that. And then from there, you know, obviously I want to win the Super Bowl and one day be able to throw on a gold jacket.
Man, I love it. Listen, man, you are forever a Tiger, but you always family. I appreciate the time, dog, and congrats, bro.
Thank y'all, man.
My dog.
Leave Florida alone.
Hey, that's just funny. That's your
Leave
fault.
Florida alone.
That man said it was your
like
fault.
I wasn't even supposed to play, but I had just slid out there.
Hold up, limitless. Niggas to me, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Niggas to me, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up.